Hello? 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 Do you hear me? Are you following?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Okay, nice. So let's start. Okay, let's start. First of all, nice to meet you again. And I have to apologize for the problems that occurred last time. And not only last time, but also the time before last time. The problem was with my PC, so sorry for that. And I hope everything will go smoothly today. Okay. Is my voice clear? Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Okay, nice. So
Yes.
just to tell you before we start that that tomorrow we have a lesson, the last lesson, of course, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., which will be about the cardiovascular system. Okay, so today we will finish with this nervous system, which made us nervous. Okay, let's carry on with this nervous system. Just to remember, let's remind you of some of the words we learned last time. We learned the word bundles. So we said that nerves are bundles of nerve fibers. We learned the word nerve cells. We don't say nervous cell, we say nerve cells, which is the compound. Neurons are also called nerve cells. Neurons transmit nerve impulses. Again, there is the word nerve, compound noun. We learned the word or the verb to detect a stimulus. So the main, one of the main functions of the nervous system is to detect stimuli and of course making a response. And of course, the nervous system gives directions or gives orders. We learned the word directions, and also we reminded you of the word directions or directives, orders, commands. Okay. We also learned that dendrites and axons project from the cell body. They are projections of the cell body. You can use the verb project, you can use the verb branch or branch off. You can also use the verb extend. The noun is extension. Branch, the verb is a branch and the noun is a branch. Okay, we stopped last time at this paragraph. We filled in the blanks. Just let's read it again. There are only two main types of cells in nerve tissue. The actual nerve cell is a neuron. It is the conducting cell that transmits nerve impulses and the structural unit of the nervous system. The other type of cell is neuroglia or glial cell. The word neuroglia means nerve glue. These cells are non-conductive and provide a support system for the neurons. We are a special type of connective tissue for the nervous system. Neurons are cells and therefore have a soma or cell body, but they also have extensions of the cell. Each extension, which are the dendrites and axons, each extension is generally referred to as a process. One process is called an axon, and the other type of process that projects from the soma is the dendrite. Cell body now, in many ways, the cell body is similar to other types of cells. It has a nucleus with at least one nucleolus and contains many of the typical cytoplasmic organelles, but it lacks centrioles, however. Because centrioles function in cell division, the fact that the neurons lack these organelles is consistent with the meiotic nature of the cell. Dendrites and axons are cytoplasmic extensions or processes that branch off from the cell body. They are sometimes referred to as fibers. Dendrites are usually short and branching, which increases their surface area to receive signals from other neurons. They're also afferent processes, and there is only one axon that projects from each cell body. It is usually elongated, and because it carries impulses away from the cell body, it is called an efferent process. The axon is a fiber that connects a neuron with its target, and a bundle or group of axons is called a nerve tract. So I think we stopped here last time. A nerve tract, so let's learn this word, a nerve tract. A nerve tract is a group of axons, okay? A group of fibers or a bundle of fibers. This is a nerve tract, okay? What is the major nerve tract, where you have a great number of nerve fibers. What can it be? The major nerve tract where we have a large bundle. What can it be? Nerve tract. It is the spinal cord. So the spinal cord is called the major nerve tract because it includes a large number of nerve fibers. Okay, then you have this question: how different is a nerve cell from other cells? Here, just to save time, I'm going to read. Neurons are similar to other cells in the body. So, because neurons, like other cells, are surrounded by cell membrane. And neurons have a nucleus that contains genes. Neurons also contain cytoplasm, mitochondria, and other organelles. Neurons also, like other cells, carry out basic cellular processes such as protein synthesis and energy production. However, there are some differences. What are these differences? Neurons have a specialized cell parts called dendrites and axons, which are not found in other cells. Dendrites bring electrical signals to the cell body, and axons take information away from the cell body. Neurons communicate with each other through an electrochemical process, and the neurons contain some specialized structures like synapses and chemicals like neurotransmitters. We have now another question, which is what are the similarities and differences between axons and dendrites? The similarities that both dendrites and axons, both of them are projections from the cell body or are extensions of the cell body, and both of them can conduct nerve impulses or convey or communicate nerve impulses. The differences, in brief, of course, dendrites, we have many dendrites in the nerve cells, but there is only one axon per neuron or nerve cell. Dendrites are very short, an axon is elongated. Dendrites are postsynaptic and axons are presynaptic. Dendrites receive messages or signals or nerve impulses. You can use messages, electrical messages, signals, nerve impulses from the external environment or other nerve cells, and axons, or an axon sends or transfers signals or nerve impulses to the outer environment or other neurons. Okay, you have here an exercise to do. It's a gap filling exercise. Okay, to learn more language about the nervous system. Okay, can you read? Is there any volunteer here to read this paragraph?
Can I read?
Yes, please.
The nervous system is the major controlling, regulatory, and communicating system in the body. It is the center of all mental activity, including thought, learning, and memory. Together with the endocrine system, the nervous system is responsible for regulating and maintaining homeostasis.
Homeostasis, nice.
And millions of receptors detect changes of
sensitive touch.
No, in English we don't use sensitive. We use sensory.
Sensorial.
Sensory. This is the word used in sensory receptors. Yeah, let's carry on.
Millions of sensory receptors detect changes called stimulus.
Here you have the singular. Of course, you need the plural.
Stimuli. Okay.
Sensory here. The word stimuli here. Just the U and S. This U and S will be a I. Yeah, sorry. I. Okay. Called stimuli. This is the plural of stimulus, stimuli, like nucleus and nuclei, and bronchus, bronchi, stimulus, stimuli. Yes, carry on.
Which occur inside and outside the body. They monitor such things as temperature, light, and sound from the external environment. Inside the body, the internal environment. That's variations. Receptors.
Receptors. Yeah, here the word receptors. Yeah.
Detect variations in pressure, pH, carbon dioxide concentration, and the levels of various electrolytes. All electrolytes. All of this gathered information is called. It's
called
sensory input.
Sensory input.
Input. Yeah, here. All the gathered information here is called sensory input. Good.
A sensory input converted into electrical signals called.
What did you do for this word convert?
Converted into.
Here we need the passive, huh?
Yes.
The sensory input
Are converted.
Is converted into.
Uncountable noun. Is because input is uncountable noun, so is converted. Yes.
Madam, what do you mean by sensory input? I didn't understand this one.
The sensory input is all the gathered information. The information about light, about temperature, about pH.
Message sensorial.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Sensory input is converted into electrical signals called nerve impulses.
Nerve impulses, yeah.
That
Electrical signals called nerve impulses.
That are transmitted to the brain. Decisions are made each moment based on the sensory input. This is integration. Based on the sensory input and integration, the nervous system responds by
response. Yeah, it makes a response. It makes a response, or it responds. How does it respond?
By creating sensations, producing thoughts, adding to memory, or sending signals to muscles, causing them to contract, and to glands, causing them to produce secretions. Muscles and glands are called.
Are called what? Muscles and glands are called
effectors.
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 Effectors. Nice. Let's go down, go down, go down. Are called effectors. Why are they called effectors?
Because they cause an effect directions in response to directions from the nervous system.
Yeah, in response to directions, in response to orders.
This is the motor output or motor function.
Good. Okay, let's bring it down here.
The messages traveling in the nerves are sent through billions of nerve cells called
Nerve
neurons.
cells.
The spaces between these cells are called synapses. These cells are linked to one another through chemicals called neurotransmitters that move across these synapses. The synapses.
Synapses.
Synapses to the next neuron. Dopamine and serotonin are types of neurotransmitters.
Okay, so we say dopamine. Dopamine.
Dopamine
is long.
Dopamine.
Yeah. Can you say dopamine?
Dopamine.
Dopamine. And serotonin. Dopamine
and serotonin.
Dopamine and serotonin are types of neurotransmitters. Okay, here we are supplied with the answers. Okay, I will, of course, send you the answers to help you with your revision. Okay. Next one, next exercise, just to familiarize you with the language and to make you learn the words we learned. Yes, please, let's read and give answers. Any volunteers?
May I?
Yes, of course.
Basically, the nervous system has two functions. First, getting impulses from outside or inside
Getting
the body.
impulses. Yeah.
Yes.
First, getting impulses, which is here.
From outside or inside the body, to where it can be acted upon.
Yeah, where it can be acted upon, usually in the brain. Okay, so the brain acts upon these impulses. Yeah.
And secondly, feeding back information to the muscles, for example, so that the indicated action can be taken. Thus, nerves can be divided by their function into two general types, each following a separate pathway. Those that receive information, for example, from the senses and pass it along are called sensory or afferent. Those that relay information back with the directive for
The
action
directive, yeah, with an order for action.
are called motor or efferent.
Yeah.
All sensory and motor information comes or goes from the central cord, the brain and the spinal cord. The brain acts as control center for communication network. The spinal cord is the master nerve tract in
Yeah,
our
it's the
body,
nerve tract.
and consists of millions of nerve fibers bundled together, somewhat like many threads making up a large rope.
Yeah, like many threads making a large rope. Yeah, okay. So here, threads here means filaments. A thread is a filament. Threads, filaments. Okay. Here you have the answer. So impulse acted upon pathway, pass it along with the directive for action, the master nerve tract, nerve fibers bundled together, somewhat like many threads, many filaments, making a large rope. Okay, further practice this paragraph. Always fill in the blanks. Filling exercise. Yeah, let's have another. It can be the same student, or if you'd like to read, or you can change. Yes, please.
The nervous system controls all.
All what? Okay.
All.
Let's make them visible for you. Nervous system controls all what?
Bodily functions.
Ring-shaped.
Ring-shaped. No.
Bodily.
Bodily, yeah, bodily, yeah, means related to the body. The body here is an adjective, which means related to the body.
The nervous system controls all bodily functions. It is a network that relays messages back and forth from the brain.
Back and forth, yeah. Messages back and forth. Towards the brain, away from the brain, towards the brain, okay, away from the brain. So back and forth.
To different effectors. It does this via the spinal cord. The spinal cord is a long
bundle.
Yeah,
it's a bundle.
The spinal cord is a long bundle of nerve tissue, about 18 inches long and
3/4.
3/4 inch
thick.
Yeah, it's here. Yeah, thick. 3/4 of an inch thick. Okay, so he's thick. Or can you express differently? If you want to write here, in,
Depth.
what is it? It's not there. here in say long in length, deep in depth, wide in width, thick
Thickness.
in thickness. Yeah. We learned this in our first lesson, okay? So here in thickness, long in length, and here thick in thickness, and here long, so it can be also in what?
Length.
In length. In length, okay. Yeah, let's carry on.
It extends from the lower part of the brain down through the backbone and contains thread-like nerves.
Yeah, thread-like nerves. Here with an adjective, nerves that are like thread or thread-like. You know, the meaning of thread. Thread is a filament. So thread-like nerves that
Branch out.
branch out. So here, branch is a verb. To branch out.
Branch out to every organ and body part. These make up the peripheral nervous system. Both the brain and the spinal cord are protected by bone, the brain by the bones of cranium, and the spinal cord by a set of ring-shaped bones called vertebrae.
Ring-shaped, yeah. The bones are ring-shaped.
They're both cushioned by layers of...
Let's pronounce this word. Called what?
Vertebrae.
Vertebrae, yeah. Vertebra, one vertebra. And a number of vertebrae or vertebrae. It can be re or re here. Yeah, good, carry on.
Madam, ring-shaped, what does it mean?
Ring-shaped.
Like
like rings, like a ring here, ring. Okay, here.
Bones, ring-shaped bones? Yeah, okay.
Like a ring, shaped like a ring, okay? These are the vertebrae. To describe the vertebrae, they give them the adjective ring-shaped. Clear?
Okay, thanks.
They're both cushioned by layers of membranes called meninges, as well as a special fluid called cerebrospinal fluid. This fluid plays a part in protecting the nerve tissue, keeping it healthy and removing waste products.
Okay, plays a part. What is the word part here? There, it's here. Okay, nice. So these okay, just are easy to do. Just to provide you with more practice, we have bodily, back and forth, long bundle of nerve tissue, thick, thread-like, the verbal branch, they're ring-shaped, okay, and play a part or play a role. Okay, we have now this matching exercise, okay. So we have nerve, the word nerve is repeated 3 times. Nerve, 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 nerve. Nerve what?
Nerve cell.
Nerve cell. Yeah, another word associated with nerve.
Impulse.
Nerve.
Impulse.
Not clear. Nerve.
Nerve impulse.
Nerve impulse. Yeah, good. Nerve impulse. Nerve cell. Nerve impulse.
Nerve fiber.
Fiber.
Nerve what? Nerve what?
Nerve tract.
Nerve tract.
Fiber.
A nerve fiber. Yeah, good. Nerve fiber. Yeah, these are the words we learned. Nerve cell, nerve fiber, nerve impulse, and nerve tract. A nerve tract is a group of nerves. Good. Cranial.
Fluid.
Cranial.
Or vault.
Cranial.
Vault.
Volt, yeah, cranial vault, la voûte crânienne, so cranial vault, huh? Cranial vault, good. Vertebral
Canal.
canal,
Canal.
yeah, canal, vertebral canal. Take.
Action.
Take action. Yeah. Nervous system is supposed to take action, to make a response, to take action, to do something. Okay. Cerebrospinal fluid, and communicate
A message.
a message. To communicate a message means to convey a message, to transmit a message, to transfer a message. Okay, so these are the answers now. Nerve cell, nerve impulse, nerve fiber, nerve tract. Cell body, we skipped it, huh? I don't know. Cell body, compound noun, cranial vault, vertebral canal, take action, cerebrospinal fluid, and communicate a message. Okay, now let's
Madam,
speak. Yes, please.
can we have the correction later?
The correction?
Yes, of these exercises.
Because your voice now is not clear for me. Always there's a problem with my PC.
Can we have the correction later?
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Maybe tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, I will send you everything, okay? Just to help you with your revision, of course. Huh?
Thank you.
No, not at all. The disorders now, let's speak of disorders that affect the nervous system, the diseases here, the problems, the disorders, and disorders. We have infections that can affect the nervous system, like meningitis, encephalitis, or polio. Okay. Can you explain the word meningitis? What's meningitis?
Infection of meningitis.
Yeah, infection of the meninges. Yeah, infection, inflammation of the meninges. Here, meningitis. And then you have another word, which is encephalitis. Okay, encephalitis is infection of what? Encephalitis, here you can think of the word l'encéphale in French. Huh? So encephalitis is infection of what?
Inflammation of the brain.
Of the brain, yeah. Infection of the brain. And what does this itis mean here? Itis, you have encephalitis. So itis.
Inflammation.
Inflammation, yeah, of course, here's an itis. Okay, so here is a suffix. What is it here? It's a suffix, yeah. It's a suffix, yeah, which means inflammation or infection, okay? Inflammation, okay? And the adjective, so the verb is to inflame, and the adjective when you have a part of the body that is inflamed, that is inflammation with it.
Inflamed.
Inflamed, of course. So don't say inflamed, huh? Don't say it. Huh? So we say inflame. So here we take this verb and we add here the D. It will be inflamed, and we will get the adjective inflamed. Okay, so some parts of the nervous system, or one part of the nervous can get inflamed, like meningitis, encephalitis. You have some physical problems like an injury. So an injury can occur like Bell's palsy, carpal tunnel syndrome, which we will have a paragraph about it. And some conditions like Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease. Okay. Let's now read this paragraph about meningitis. Okay. We will read this paragraph.
Can I?
Yeah, and supply some synonyms or words that have nearly the same meaning as the underlined words. Yes, please.
Can I read?
Of course.
Meningitis is a serious infection of the meninges.
Meninges. Long
yeah.
G. Mm-hmm.
Right. The membranes covering the brain and spinal cord. Covering.
So infection of the meninges. The meninges are the membranes that cover the brain and spinal cord. Covering, new word to replace covering. The meninges cover the brain and spinal cord.
Shielding.
Sorry?
Shielding.
Surrounding. Yeah, it can be surrounding. Good, I see the words there. Word there, yeah. Can you write other words? Surrounding the brain and spinal cord. Can you think of other words or write other words or say other words? Surrounding.
Protecting.
Sorry?
Protecting.
Can you write it, please? Because I have a problem now with your voices, which is low, very low. Can you write it? Protecting. Protecting is not synonym of cover, okay? You can write here the membranes covering, protecting, but cover and protect are not the same.
Wrapping.
Shielding. Yeah, shielding always means protecting. But here I want to do the word cover, to cover, just cover. Okay, let's carry
Envelope.
on. Sorry?
Envelope.
Can you write the word? Cooling. I have no idea. Hiding. Coating. Coating. Why not? Overlaying. No, overlie. Yeah, the verb is overlie. To overlie. To overlie. So here to overlie. Yeah, to overlie means can be to cover or to be the top part. Is the top part, the superior part. The opposite is underlie. Yeah. So you used and envelope. Envelope without e. Yeah. So just to write here to envelope. Envelope without e at the end. Let's see, an envelope. An envelope is with e. Yeah? An envelope is with e. Envelope. Okay, but the verb is with not. So you used overlie, can be in the ing form. Of course, it would be okay. Overlying. This is how it is spelled. Overlying. Enveloping, 1p, and you used surround or coat too. Surround, to overlie, to envelop. Good. Other verbs? Pillowing, maybe. Wrapping, yeah, wrapping is a good verb. Wrapping, nice, yeah, wrapping. Covering, nice. Okay, good. So the meninges, as you said, wrap the brain, overlie the brain, cover the brain, good, surround the brain, nice. Yeah, let's carry on.
It is a devastating disease and remains a major public health challenge. Destructive.
Sorry? Really? Destructive. Yeah, destructive disease. Yeah, devastating disease. Yeah. Or
Damaging.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Acute disease. Yeah, acute meaning serious disease. Yeah, good. Acute. But it doesn't replace devastating. It is, yeah, it is when it is devastating, so it is an acute one, a serious one. Yeah, ruinous, acute. Yeah, good.
Madam, can you write it down, please? Acute.
Which one? Acute. Acute.
ACUTE.
Acute. Acute meaning serious. So say acute pain, for example. Acute pain. It means.
There's an acute angle too.
Sorry.
Acute angle.
Yeah, acute angle. Yeah. In French, you say aigu. In French, you use the word aigu. It is the same. Acute. So acute pain. It means sharp pain. Can mean sharp. It can mean serious.
Can we say lethal?
Sorry.
Can we say lethal?
Can you write the word?
All right.
Or severe. Lethal, no, lethal, it means it causes death. Lethal. Yeah, a disease that is lethal or an injury, or it means it causes death. Okay, but here it's not that dangerous. Okay, it is serious, it is acute, but not lethal. Okay, just here. Yeah, just here it is a destructive, damaging disease because it damages the nerves. It causes many damages to the body. Yeah, let's carry on.
The disease can be caused by many different pathogens, yeah, including bacteria, fungi, or viruses. Fungi or viruses, but the highest global burden is seen with bacterial meningitis.
Okay, so this disease is caused by many pathogens like bacteria, fungi, or viruses. Fungi is the word in the plural. Fungi, in French, you call them champignons. Fungi, one fungus, and the plural is fungi or funguses. Can be funguses and champignons. Okay, can be caused by. That can be due to, yeah, can be developed by, can be due to. Okay, can result from. Use this result from. Can be due to or can result from. Can be the result of, or can use the verb result. Can be provoked by. Yeah, good. Let's carry on now. Here, meningococcal meningitis. Yeah, can you carry on?
Can affect anyone of any age, but mainly affects babies, preschool children, and young people. The disease can occur in a range of situations.
Occur. Sorry,
occur.
occur.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, there is
occur.
The word occur. Yeah, occur.
Yeah. Occur in a range of situations from sporadic cases.
Sporadic cases.
Sporadic cases.
Small
clusters to large epidemics throughout the world.
Okay, so you can have 3 cases. It can be sporadic, can occur in small groups, or it can be large epidemics. Okay, worldwide epidemic. Okay, sporadic cases.
It means few cases or
few cases.
Yeah.
Occasional.
Occasional. Good. Yeah, it can be occasional. Yeah. Yeah, it means dispersed cases. Yeah, dispersed. Scattered cases. Occasional. Okay. Rare cases. Yeah. And small clusters. Clusters.
Group.
Cluster of birds, for example. Cluster of birds.
A group.
Infrequent here for sporadic. Infrequent. Yeah. Good. Why not? Infrequent cases, occasional cases, dispersed cases. And the small clusters.
A group.
Groups. Yes, group of birds or a cluster of flowers. In my garden, I have a cluster of flowers. So small groups. Small groups. Bunch. I don't know if the word bunch is nice here. Small bunches. Maybe groups would be better. Groups. And I will give you another word later on, okay? The bacteria now can cause, bacteria is plural, no? Bacterium is singular, bacterium, bacteria. The bacteria that cause meningitis are transmitted from one person to person through droplets of respiratory or throat secretions from carriers.
Madam, bacteria is a plural.
Sorry?
Bacteria is plural.
Yeah, plural. Bacteria is a plural.
And single.
The singular is bacterium. Okay, singular is bacterium. This is the singular form. Okay, and bacteria is a plural. Okay, so the bacteria that cause meningitis are transmitted from one person to person through droplets of respiratory or throat secretions from carriers. It's like COVID-19. It is transmitted from person to person through droplets of respiratory secretions. Cause meningitis here, lead to meningitis, provoke meningitis. Yeah. Lead to, provoke. Here earlier we used result from. Earlier we used result from. Now we can use a result. Result what? If you want to use the verb result from, and the opposite is result. Sorry. Result in. To result in. The bacteria that result in meningitis. Give rise to. Yeah, good. Result in. Good. Rise to. Nice. Yeah, good. Excellent students. Okay, the bacteria. Now, let's carry on. We skipped some information. Close and prolonged contact. Close and prolonged contact, such as kissing, sneezing, or coughing on someone, or living in close quarters with an infected person, facilitates spread of the disease. The average incubation period is 4 days. It can range between 2 and 10 days. The bacteria can be carried in the throat and can sometimes overwhelm the body's defenses. Can overwhelm. Sorry?
Weaken.
Weaken.
Yes.
Weaken. Yeah, you can use weaken here. But overwhelm doesn't mean weaken, okay? Spread, is it a noun or verb? Both. Spread can be a noun, can be a verb. To spread and the spread. Devastate. Why not? Can use devastate. Swamp. Yeah, why not? Swamp, devastate. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I will give you a verb earlier, later on. Not earlier, later on. Overwhelm. Here, the body's defenses here, which means the immune system. The immune system here, which means the body's defenses is the immune system. You wrote submerge. Submerge with E, not with A. Yeah? Submerge. Can you submerge? Why not? Submerge. The bacteria can be carried in the fluid and can sometimes overwhelm the immune system, allowing infection to spread. Here, spread is a verb, through the bloodstream to the brain. Okay. Here, what I wrote myself here. Yeah, concerning covering, I use the dialogue, and I added the verb enclose too. You use the wrap, and you used many other nice verbs. Here for devastating, I use damaging. For because, I use be due to, be precipitated by, be triggered by, and also be brought about by, in addition to other verbs you used, of course. And here for sporadic, I used occasional, cases occurring here and there, clusters, groups, or you can use also the verb, the word clumps. It's a clump. Clump is a group of something. So cause, a trigger, bring about, attribute to, precipitate, give rise to, result in, etc., etc. And for overwhelm, you can use also the verb defeat. Okay. So I am overwhelmed by something means something defeated me. So I am defeated by something. So something is stronger than me, is beyond my capacities. I'm overwhelmed by the housework. Okay, so this is beyond my capacities. I'm overwhelmed. Can use this defeat. You wrote also the word defeat. Okay. Let's now carry on with this exercise, which is so the previous one was about meningitis, and this one is about carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay. The word carpal here is an adjective referring to which noun? Carpal.
Carp.
Sorry? Not carp. You mean you can use, let's use
Palm.
think of simpler words. Carpal here, not the hand, not carpet, no, not carpet, of course. The wrist. The wrist. Okay. Remember the word wrist, which is the joint. The wrist is the joint. Let's say, remember the meaning of wrist. Yeah, the joint that links what to what? That links or joins what to what?
The forearm to the hand.
The hand with the arm. The hand with the forearm. Where is fore and arm? And there. Okay. So this is the wrist, and you know that the wrist is composed of how many bones? The wrist is made up of how many bones?
8.
8.
8, yeah. We call them 8 carpals. Okay, so 1 carpal, 2 carpals, 3 carpals. Then we get 8 carpals. And together, all the 8 carpals make one what? One carpus. Okay, so we have the wrist. The wrist is this a joint where you have 8 carpals. Okay, so let's read and choose the right alternative. Can you read, please?
Madam, can I?
I read.
Yes, please.
Carpal tunnel syndrome happens because of pressure on the median nerve, which runs the length of the arm, goes through a passage in the wrist called the carpal tunnel, and ends in the hand.
Okay, so use the verb runs,
Yes.
the median nerve, because of pressure on the median nerve. And this median nerve runs runs, the length of the arm. Can you replace runs with another verb? Runs. Say here, it runs. We have, for example, the arm or the arm runs from the shoulder joint to the wrist joint. The arm or the arm runs from the shoulder joint to the wrist joint. So you can replace run with the verb extend. Okay, so here runs. Runs here means extends. Okay, and the leg. Let's speak about the leg. The leg runs from where to where? From where to where? To speak about the leg. The leg extends from one point to another point. Extends, it runs from the pelvic joint to the ankle joint. From the pelvic joint to the ankle joint. So this is the median nerve. It runs the length of the arm and then goes through a passage in the, you said in the wrist, of course.
The wrist, yes.
In the wrist. Called, and this passage is called the carpal tunnel and ends in the hand. Yes, carry on, please.
The median controls the movement and feeling of the thumb and the movement of all fingers except the pinky.
Okay, feeling of the thumb and all the fingers and all the fingers. Yes, can't use limb. Limb is very general, and cannot use thigh. Thigh is part of the lower extremity.
When the median nerve can't work the way it should because of the irritation or pressure around it, this leads to nerve impulses. Slower nerve impulses?
Of course, slower. We say slow nerve impulse and fast nerve impulse. This will lead, because of this pressure and irritation, this can result in slower nerve impulses and
numbness in the fingers. Numb.
Yeah, this word.
Yes.
Numbness. The B is silent. Numbness.
Okay.
What does it mean, numbness?
You can't feel them. Like.
Yeah, there is absence of feeling. Yeah. You can explain numbness as absence, and the adjective is numb, absence of feeling or of sensation. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're asking about the word pinky. Yeah, pinky means the little finger. It is informal, little finger.
Madam, swells, what does it mean?
Swell.
Yeah.
يتنفخ.
Okay.
Swelling منفخ. يتنفخ, when it becomes larger, it gets larger in size. Swells. Yeah, we cannot use swells, of course. Okay, and dumbness. Yeah, when someone is dumb, means he is mute. Huh? Dumbness means muteness. Muteness. Being mute. Muteness. Okay, and dumbness, and this word dumbness here, it means humidity. Yeah? It means humidity. Humidity. Okay. Okay, but here we use the numbness, absence of sensation in the fingers. less strength and coordination, especially the ability to use the thumb
to pinch.
to pinch. Okay. Yeah, let's carry on.
Carpal tunnel syndrome can be brought by repetitive.
Which one? Number 3 or 2 or 1?
Number 2. Brought up
by repetitive motions like typing.
Or any wrist movement.
Which one?
The second one brought up by?
Number
2.
No, it can't be brought up. You mean to bring up? Parents are supposed to bring up their children.
So it's the
children. Bring brought, just to remind that brought is the past participle of the verb bring.
Bring, yes.
Which means caused by or triggered by. Okay, triggered by. Okay, so here caused by or triggered by. Just to remind you of where we saw this. Okay, so here let me colorize it. Okay, so here we saw it here. Here we saw the verb bring about. Bring about the bacteria that bring about meningitis, that cause meningitis, that trigger meningitis. Okay, so to bring about is to cause, and we saw it here. Okay, the disease can be caused by, can be brought about by, can be triggered by. Okay, let's now go to our context here.
Madam, so it's brought.
Sorry?
So it's brought the right answer?
Brought about.
Oh, okay.
Bring about, because to bring about means to cause. The bacteria that cause the disease. The bacteria to bring about the disease. Okay, triggered by, caused by. But to bring up, it's like we say, the parents bring up or should bring up their children. Should bring up the children.
But we have by after brought about.
By.
Can we say carpal tunnel syndrome can be brought about by repetitive emotions like typing?
By, because here you have the passive form. Okay, let's change this sentence into the active form. Carpal tunnel syndrome can be brought about. Okay. Repetitive motions like typing. So here we start the sentence by repetitive motions. Okay. Okay, can you carry on? So repetitive motions like typing.
Or any wrist movement done over and over.
Sorry?
And conditions like hypothyroidism.
I hear nothing. Sorry, can you write or repetitive? Now change passive from passive to active.
Can brought about.
Can.
Carpal tunnel syndrome.
Here the verb is in the infinitive is bring.
Yes.
Can bring about. Okay, which means cause.
Trigger.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay. This. Stop. Now we'll get the active form. Repetitive motions like typing can bring about or can cause carpal tunnel syndrome, and the passive form, carpal tunnel syndrome, can be brought about, can be triggered by, can be caused by, okay, repetitive motions like typing. Okay, I think everything is clear now. Okay. Okay. Typing or any wrist movement.
Done.
Done, of course. Huh? Done over and over, of course. Done. Okay. Done. Done here. Okay. Any movement done. But if the answer here, no, it's nice, huh? But if it's suppose that, so let's delete this. And let's suppose that we have this, okay? So what will be missing here?
That,
yeah. So we didn't have that, huh? So any wrist movement done over and over. But if we have that, so we say that is done, that is done. So any wrist movement or any wrist movement that is done over and over. And when we delete that, of course, we will have to delete these two. And we say any movement done over and over. And conditions like hypothyroidism, obesity. Obesity is pronounced with obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, and can you pronounce this word?
Diabetes.
No, it is pronounced diabetes. Diabetes, yes, BTs. Diabetes. So hypothyroidism, the thyroidism, hypo, the H is pronounced hypothyroidism, obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, itis again, and diabetes. Okay. Here you have the answers. Runs, the length of the arm, the wrist, thumb and fingers, and except the pinky, the little finger. Slow and nerve impulses, numbness, absence of feelings, then brought about by and done. Here we don't have that here. Okay. Okay. Now the final disease, which is Parkinson's disease, in brief. Okay. Here again, we will provide some words having nearly the same meaning as the underlined ones. Okay, let's read. Let's listen to your nice voices.
Parkinson's disease is a brain disorder that leads to tremor.
Is a brain what?
Disorder.
Disorder. Nice. Disorder. Yeah.
That leads to tremor.
Yeah, tremor.
Right? Yeah.
This disease causes tremor. What can mean this tremor?
Madame, tumeur en français.
Sorry?
Tumeur.
Shaking. Tremor, shaking.
No, not a tumor. Tremor. It's not a tumor, no.
Okay.
Yeah, shakiness. Yeah, shakiness. Yeah, the trembling. Yeah, good. Trembling without there is no e after b. Yeah? Trembling without there is no e after b. Okay. Shivering. No, shivering it can't be, because shivering is always caused by fear or cold. No, shivering is, no, it can be shivering. Yeah, when you shiver, you tremble. But when you shiver, it's because cold or because of fear. So trembling is nice. There is also the word quivering. Can use this word. Trembling, quivering. trembling or quivering, but not shivering. Shivering is caused by cold, by fear. Quivering, okay, quivering. Stiffness now. When someone has Parkinson's disease, his muscles become stiff. Stiffness. Stiff is the adjective.
Rigidity.
Rigidity. Yeah, rigidity. They become rigid. Rigidity. Rigidity. Okay. Or here we can also explain it as inability to move easily. Inability to move easily. To move the muscles, to move the limbs. Easily, so rigidity. And difficulty walking. Difficulty.
Hardship.
Sorry?
Trouble.
No, hardly it can't be.
Problem.
Here, usually you use, because you have here walking. Difficulty plus verb, plus verb plus ing. Difficulty walking. Difficulty walking, or starting with T.
Trouble.
Trouble. Yeah, say trouble walking. Difficulty.
Struggling walking.
Yeah, hardship. Yeah, yeah, there is hardship with moving, but we can't say hardship walking. We can say hardship walking. We say trouble walking. Problems with walking, yes, problems with walking. Yeah. Or trouble walking. Yeah, can say trouble with walking, problems with walking, trouble walking because you have verb ing. Then difficulty with balance. Person can have problems or difficulty with balance. Balance. Cannot balance. Equilibrium. Yeah, here you wrote the word equilibrium. Good. Okay, nice. Parkinson's symptoms usually begin gradually and get worse over time. As the disease progresses, people may have difficulty walking and talking. They may also have mental and behavioral changes, sleep problems, depression, and memory difficulties and fatigue. So as the disease progresses, as the disease, you maybe here maybe you mean the verb evolve. Evolve. Is there the verb evaluate? No, I don't think there is this verb. Maybe you mean evolve. Evolve or develops. Yeah, good. The verb develop. The disease develops, progresses. Okay. Now, Parkinson's disease occurs when nerve cells or neurons in an area of the brain that controls the movement become impaired and or die. Become impaired and or die. Yeah, I saw the verb advance. Yeah, you can use the verb advance. The disease advances. Advances. Become. So here the area of the controls become impaired.
Dysfunctional.
Impaired. No, it doesn't mean disabled, but it means
dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional. Yeah, can be dysfunctional. Yeah. Inactive. Why not? Inactive, but not disabled or handicapped. No. Maybe inactive, dysfunctional. Okay, I thought of other verbs. I will show them later on. Normally, these neurons produce an important brain chemical known as dopamine. When the neurons die or become impaired, they produce less dopamine, which causes the movement problems of Parkinson's. People with Parkinson's also lose the nerve endings. Here you have another word with nerve. Nerve endings. another word with nerve. You have nerve impulse, nerve cell, nerve tract that produce norepinephrine, the main chemical messenger which controls many automatic functions of the body, such as heart rate and blood pressure. The loss of norepinephrine might help explain some of the non-movement features of the Parkinson's, such as fatigue, irregular blood pressure, and sudden drop in blood pressure when a person stands up from a sitting or lying down position. Okay, a sudden drop in blood pressure drops. Blood pressure drops when a person stands up from a sitting position or lying down position.
Slows down.
Sorry?
To slow down.
Gets down.
Slow down.
What is the word before down? Decrease. Slow down. Slow down. But you need a noun here. We need a noun. And sad, here it's a noun. Drop. Drop can be noun, can be verb. Here it's a noun. Okay, so let's just give you the answers I gave. Here you have trembling, rigidity, trouble, equilibrium, develops. Here for impaired, I used weakened and damaged. The impaired, for example, impaired immune system. Impaired immune system. The immune system is damaged, is weakened. There is a problem with it. And for drop, there is the noun fall. Fall can be a noun, can be a verb. Here it's a noun. Drop or fall in blood pressure. Okay. Now here you have two tables to complete. At the beginning of the lesson, we use the word cranium. Okay, we say that the brain is by cranium. Cranium is a technical term, but there is another word which is a common term.
Skull.
Also referred as colloquial term or lay term, which is the
skull.
Skull. Nice. Scapula.
Omoplate.
No, no this word. There is no such a word. Okay. Clavicle. You have two clavicles. Sternum. Patella is the kneecap. Okay. The femur is the thigh bone. Okay. Tibia is the shin bone. The mandible is the jaw bone or the lower jaw. We have two jaws. We said lower one and an upper one. The mandible is the lower one or the bottom one. And the spine?
Vertebral canal.
Not canal. Canal is
column.
Is empty inside. Okay, but the spine is a group of or the series of vertebrae. The series of vertebrae, not because and the canal is empty inside. The canal is hollow.
The column.
Vertebral column. Column is okay. Vertebral column or vertebral or spinal column. Spinal or vertebral column. Okay, or backbone. Or backbone. So here you have the answers. The cranium can also be referred to as skull. Scapula is the shoulder blade. Okay. The clavicle is called the collarbone. The sternum is the breastbone. Patella is the kneecap, thigh bone, shin bone, jawbone, and backbone, vertebral column or spinal column. Okay. In the lesson, we came across some plural forms. So vertebra, one vertebra and one scapula, but the plural vertebra is
vertebrae.
Vertebrae. Which letter is added to A here?
E.
Okay, and one scapula and two
scapulae.
Can I see scapulas? Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Fungus.
Fungi.
Fungi.
Fungi. Fungi. Les champignons. Fungi. فطريات. Fungi. Fungus and plural fungi. Can I say funguses? Yes, we can. Okay, can I say funguses or fungi? Nucleus.
Nuclei.
Nuclei.
Nuclei. Yeah. Nucleolus. Nucleoli. Bronchus.
Bronchi.
Bronchi. Okay. So the US turns into an to I, and ganglion.
Ganglia.
Ganglia. Can I say ganglions? Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes, we can. So okay. So here we have vertebrae, scapulas or scapulae. Both are correct. A stimulus. I didn't see stimulus. Is stimulus? No, it's not there. Okay. So stimulus, stimuli, funguses or fungi, nuclei, nucleoli, bronchi, ganglius, and ganglia. Okay.
Madam.
The lesson has come to an end. Thank you for your attendance. Before you
Madam.
leave, yes, please.
Can we say spinal cord? Like a spinal column?
No, spinal cord. هو المولي بينير.
Right?
Spinal cord is part, of course, of the central nervous system. Spinal column is the vertebral column. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I will send you, of course, on the platform. I will send all what you need, of course. Just to remind you that tomorrow you have a lesson, okay, which is about the cardiovascular system. Okay, so I wrote here at the beginning, just to remind you. It will be from 4 p.m. to, so don't forget, okay. Yes. Okay, so where is it? Okay, no problem, okay. So it's just, I wrote at the beginning a note, so don't forget that tomorrow we will meet from 4 to 6. Okay, goodbye. Thank you for attendance.